In 2005, the discussion had nothing to do with covering or not covering people. We had to have the majority talking about the cost of government. And then today it's going to be, oh, we need to cover people. I wish truth in advertising laws actually applied to this body sometimes, Mr. Speaker. Because this is the biggest fraud that has been perpetrated upon the citizens of this state. 35,000 people, no GR. A district that each one of us represents, full of people, could be covered at no cost. And to sit here and listen about uncompensated care and uninsurables. Uninsurables have a program. They have a dollar-for-dollar tax credit that is available to them for these insurance companies to cover them. Why we would want to then say we are going to cover those people on Medicaid and it's going to have some sort of impact under this $148 million, we don't have the 35,000 people that we could cover and have the program that already exists for insurables still remain. And the fact of the matter, Mr. Speaker, is that it comes down to one thing. And the one thing is that there is a fundamental disagreement on what we should do with our money in this state and how we should invest it. House Bill 22, I hear, is being brought up in the Senate now, which is good because we're going to invest in roads and we're going to invest in buildings and we're going to invest in other things. But if we're going to invest in things like that, why is it so abominable to the majority side and the Republican Party to actually invest in people? People that are out there working. People that are actually trying to make a better life for themselves and making sure that they are well enough to go to work. That they are well enough to contribute to society. That their kids might actually get on S-chip if they're eligible, since we hear that that is a big problem. That they might actually realize that their kids might be eligible when they go in and they're reinstated. This isn't expansion. This is restoration. It's admitting that we made a mistake in 2005. It's admitting that maybe we were cruel. It's admitting that when 306 comes back and this conference report comes out, it's not going to look anything like what everybody's talking about here. It's going to be loaded up with a bunch of idealistic things, and it's going to maybe have a couple of crumbs for those that are starving. And then we're going to try to call that healthcare reform. Well, if you take somebody who is at the end of their rope and you give them a crumb, they're going to take it. But what is sad, Mr. Speaker, is that we have not sat and looked at investing in our people here in the state. Our citizens that we have cut off, less than 20% of them we could reinstate and restore the cuts that were made in 2005, the bloodletting that went on then. We can put those people back on. But, Mr. Speaker, it would be that the majority party would have to admit you made a mistake. That maybe these were cruel. Maybe they were short-sighted. Cost you a governor. But the fact of the matter is that our citizens are worth investing in. The citizens of this state are worth investing in. The kids of this state are worth investing in. They're just as important as corporations. They're just as important as construction projects. They're just as important as an Eco-Devo bill. But the fact of the matter, Mr. Speaker, is there is absolutely no intestinal fortitude from the majority to actually admit that they made a mistake. And we're going to get a 306 bill that's going to come back, and it's going to be yet another travesty to the people of this state. And it's going to look something completely different than what we're looking at now. And Mr. Speaker, stripping people out and going to conference to make sure that we can hold our position on stripping those people out. We wouldn't even go to conference on whether or not we were going to toughen the program and make more funding for a program for sexual predators. But we will go back to make sure that we will keep people off of health care for no cost. Again, Mr. Speaker, it's time to admit that in 2005 it was a mistake. It was cruel, and for the sake of everybody over here, I won't give my other line on what it really is. But this is so contrary to the idea of what this country stands for. To give us your meek, give us your tired, give us your poor. That doesn't mean that we balance the budget on any of the three groups. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.